Good morning. Hello, everyone. Today, I thought we would go a little deeper into the composting process itself and understand the role that's played by each of the ingredients in the bin. First and foremost, we have chosen a bin which has holes on all sides. This is to facilitate the movement of air inside the bin. As mentioned, this is an aerobic composting process and the microorganisms require oxygen to decompose the waste material. Microorganisms in the form of bacteria and fungi thrive in the presence of oxygen. Now, you may wonder, where are these microorganisms coming from? We have not added any bacteria to the bin. When we start the bin, we add a handful of topsoil or half done compost to the bin along with the greens and browns. This soil or half done compost contains bacteria and fungi that start their activity when they come in contact with waste material. So, when they are added to the bin, they start to multiply and grow. For this process, they require energy and protein. The first thing they do then is to oxidize the carbon present in the browns to get energy and in the process liberate carbon dioxide. To multiply, they use nitrogen present in the greens, and as this happens, the temperature in the bin increases. If you were to put your hand inside the bin about 10 days into the process, it will be hot, indicating multiplication and growth of bacteria, as also the decomposition of waste. As their numbers grow, they will continue to oxidize carbon for their energy. So, mixing or stirring of the bin is required to aerate the bin. If too many of the greens have been added to the bin, the temperature rapidly increases, killing the microorganisms and releasing a lot of water. The contents of the bin become soggy and start to compact. Nitrogen now gets converted to ammonium, releasing a foul smell. If, on the other hand, too many of the browns have been added to the bin, decomposition takes a long time as the contents of the bin are now very dry. Hence, it's important to maintain an optimum ratio between greens and browns, or carbon and nitrogen. Roughly about 30 to 40 parts of nitrogen to 1 part of carbon is considered optimal. Now, I'm not going to, dissect the ratio of carbon to nitrogen in each of the waste material that's been added to the bin. But I will give you a rule of thumb. For each handful of green, add 2 handfuls of browns. This will result in the correct ratio between carbon and nitrogen. The contents of the bin should be moist but not wet. If you've added fruits like watermelon, papaya, etc., they tend to give out more water and the contents of the bin may become soggy. In order to compensate, add another handful of brown to absorb the excess water. We have also given a hole at the bottom of the bin. This will remove excess water in the form of leachate. Leachate contains a lot of nutrients and is a very good fertilizer for the plants. We will show you in a video how to collect the leachate and also use it to feed your plants. Now, the quantity of leachate generated depends on the type of browns and the type of greens that have been added to the bin. Using sawdust or cocoa peat as browns, and also using an earthen pot or a clay pot, the absorption of water is more because the clay pot also helps in evaporation of the water being porous in nature. So the quantity of leachate collected will be slightly less. On the other hand, the usage of a plastic bin and also the usage of dry leaves, the quantity of leachate collected will be more, which is still fine because leachate is nutritious and can be used to feed the plants even daily. Now, you can also use fermented buttermilk or cow dung slurry once a week, just a few drops. This will act as an accelerator. It will introduce additional lactobacillus bacteria to the bin, which will speed up the composting process. So now I hope you have a clear understanding of the process going on inside the bin. The ratio of carbon to nitrogen, as also the quantity of air and moisture, should be maintained. Keep the bin in the shade, far away from the sun and also the rain. As the decomposition progresses, the green material decomposes and is not recognizable. Some of the browns, like twigs and leaves, take a longer time to decompose and will maintain their shape but start to become darker brown in color. The volume of the contents in the bin reduces by about 50% towards the end of the process and leaves behind a dark brown, nutrient rich compost that can be given to your plants. Thank you, everyone.